Evening, everyone. I hope you're well. Talking about Marvell. Now, I'm very excited about Marvell right now, and I'm very excited about Marvell right now because this is selfishly the price range I have been wanting to see for Marvell. This is the deal zone. Right now, Marvell has sunk down with every other stock like it. We're in a full rotation in the market, and a lot of people may be going, "This is terrible. I'm ruined." I wouldn't be so hasty on that. I think this is obviously opportunity before us right now because what do you know? You know that Marvell is a fantastic stock, fantastic company, and what we've already seen is going to come back here eventually, and there's a lot more to come down the road here. So Marvell right now being what I think is in this huge buy zone, the 180 zone, if this can sink even more into a 170, Lord willing, 160, a huge buy. Now, Marvell by the end of this year will be well into $3 billion quarterlies. That is a great element for you as an investor buying this right now when the market is circling out of this right now. And that's okay because it will come back around. Now, down the road here, these semiconductors, chips, memory, all this stuff is going to take the forefront of the market once again. And Marvell, more than not, I think Marvell, once the attention span goes right back on it, this will easily climb back into a 220, 230 zone. There is no doubt that we will be above the hold zone shortly once again, but the hold zone more than not is coming back real soon here, somewhere in the 230 to even $200 position. Marvell, the jig is up. People know what it is, and now that Jensen has been out here saying that this is going to be the next trillion-dollar company, people are always going to be buying this, and they should because it's going to be a fantastic company to hold for what's coming. These quarterlies that they're making right now, these are fantastic, but we're talking about Marvell going into a lot deeper zone financially where this really turns into something very special. So Marvell going into a place of, back to $200, $300, down the road here. I do think that $300 will show up here again, but I'm expecting, somewhere in the 250, 260 by the end of the year once we see the rotation start to take effect again, because it's going to come up again once we start to get into these quarterlies with Marvell, with the chips, with, Micron, SanDisk, this kind of stuff that all bleeds in together from chips, memory, data, the whole thing here. And Marvell is undoubtedly going to be right in the moment of that here. It's a fantastic buying opportunity right now. So now that Marvell has fundamentally transformed its portfolio to focus on AI infrastructure, data center revenue now comprises approximately 76% of its business, driven by a surge in demand. So this is really a place of where we're seeing AI take shape more in Marvell just alone here. And they just signed this massive deal with Google up to $12 billion. To say that we are going to see something more coming here. And so for the person that bought Marvell around the 250, 260 zone, maybe a little more than that, I wouldn't panic. I really wouldn't. I think this is a time to, if you're in this for the long run, if you're in this for what the next phase of this looks like, this is a place where you dig in. This is where you want to really start taking the 50, the 100, the $200 a month, weekly, wherever you're at, and start building up a strong position here in Marvell. This really, Marvell is one of those companies right now that I look at something very different, very unique in its own place in the market, something like a Palantir. Palantir has gone through many different phases of it's the love of the market, it's the hate of the market, it's neutral in the market, now it's going back into the love of the market. But what we see too with Palantir is that Palantir has done amazing elements, business-wise, and they're going to continue to do so no matter how much hatred they get. Marvell, I look very similar, that this is a company right now, it had no business trading what it was trading at over this $300 range here just a moment ago. And now reality has set in here and Marvell has sunk down into this below $200 range. But two, investors know what they're buying. They know what they're holding on to. They know the next phase of the semis, the AI, the chip, the data, all this stuff is going to circle back around, and Marvell will be, heavy in the attention span again here. So I think this is just a place of where this is a huge opportunity before investors. So I say all that to say, don't look at the drama right now as this is terrible for you. This is really good. I would be truly shocked if Marvell went below 150, 140 this year. That would be very shocking because every quarterly that we're going to see here on out is going to jump significantly, leapfrogging into just crazy, fundamentally just changing the trajectory of what they're going to be doing financially by this year and next year. And investors are going to be really onto that, and Wall Street's going to really understand what they're buying into. So I wish all of you the best of luck, and I will talk to you soon.